Welcome to the DreamDrifts Podcast by Professor Pursuit, voiced by PJ Hanafin. Tonight, I invite you to join me by the fire and embark on an adventure designed not just to entertain, but to guide you into the arms of sleep. To a place where dreams weave the fabric of reality and the world melts away. In the story that follows, we will wander together into the realms of imagination, into a story that, by its very nature, will drift from the clarity of narrative into the soothing embrace of dreams. The story that follows is designed to aid you to let go, to relax fully, and to allow the gentle tide of sleep to carry you away. So, dear listener, make yourself comfortable, tuck yourself in, find a cozy spot, and let the worries of the day melt away. Breathe deeply, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. And let each breath draw you deeper into relaxation, closer to the realms of dreams. Tonight, there's no need to hold on to the threads of wakefulness. Let them slip through your fingers as you prepare to journey with us into dreamland. And now, as the story begins, remember, this journey is for you. A path to sleep, woven with words and whispers, designed to lead you into a peaceful, restful night. So, close your eyes if you haven't already, and let us embark on this voyage to the stars, to the quiet corners of imagination, where sleep awaits to embrace you in its gentle, comforting arms. Welcome to the DreamDrifts Podcast. Fedrick the Magnificent and the Golden Acorn by PJ Hanafin. In an ancient land veiled by the mists of oblivion, where the rigid laws of nature bow gracefully to the impulsive desires of the capricious muse, there thrived a magical domain, aptly named the Quirky Woods. This was a place where reality seemed to twist and bend in magical ways. Within these enchanted borders, the trees were not merely silent sentinels of the forest. They were ancient whisperers, exchanging age-old secrets with the playful breezes that danced through their boughs. The rivers, too, participated in the woodland's melody, waters flowing over smooth stones and singing soft lullabies to the radiant moon that watched over them each night. This realm, wrapped in its own particular magic, existed apart from the mundane world, a testament to the wonders that flourish under the governance of whimsy. At the very core of the Quirky Woods, amidst the mystical chorus of whispering leaves and singing rivers, there stood an extraordinary tree, known as Fedrick the Magnificent. This venerable oak towered majestically, with sprawling branches that abruptly stretched towards the celestial expanse, aspiring to touch the very heavens themselves. Its fruits, equally impressive, burrowed deep into the fertile earth, anchoring the mighty trunk firmly to the heart of the forest floor. However, Fedrick was far from just an archaeological marvel of nature, uniquely endowed with consciousness. This oak possessed a profoundly curious mind and a vibrant spirit saturated with wanderlust. His desire to explore the world beyond his immense surroundings was palpable, a longing that pulsed through his sap-filled veins as vividly as life itself. This combination of physical grandeur and intellectual curiosity made Fedrick a legendary figure not only within the bounds of the quirky woods, but also in the lore of all those who dared to wander into this enchanted realm. One serene morning, under the breathtaking canvas of a down painted in soft shades of lavender and vivid tangerine, Fedrick the Magnificent felt a stirring of aspiration within his wooden heart as the first rays of sunlight filtered through the dawn, igniting sparks light upon the dew-drenched undergrowth. His yearning for adventure grew irresistible. With a gentle rustle of his ancient leaves, accompanied by the groaning creak of his old sturdy branches swaying in the breeze, he proclaimed to the entirety of the quirky woods, "Today I shall embark on this quest to discover the legendary golden Acorn." His declaration resonated through the forest, stirring the birds into a song, and the small wonderland of the woodland creatures into a flurry of activity. The forest, a witness to countless storms, now listened intently to Fedrick's bold resolve. It was a moment of decision that promised to lead the venerable oak on a journey across the mystical lands, through forgotten tales into the annals of legend. This quest was not just a whim, it was the accumulation of centuries of dreams, a pursuit for something greater than life within the confines of his rooted existence. Equipped with nothing more than his sharp wits and a satirical brimming of acorn-shaped treats, Fedrick ventured forth, a determined spirit, into the deeper, less trodden paths of the quirky woods. The forest seemed to embrace his quest in a path winding mysterious, leading him to a verdant heart of enchantments. As he journeyed, the woods came alive with the presence of its inhabitants, a collection of beings as strange as they were delightful. He first met a group of elegant rabbits, each conversing fluently with great passion. The words meticulously structured in the rhythmic flow of a minute pamata. They recited verses and spoke of ancient lore and the secrets of the forest, their poetry echoing through the trees like a melody. Further along his path, Fedrick encountered whimsical spirits, tiny evanescent beings of light and colour. With delicate brushes made from sunbeam strands and dewdrops, they painted vibrant rainbows across the expansive sky, turning the air itself into a canvas of fleeting, ethereal beauty. Their laughter tinkled like chimes in a gentle breeze, adding a soundtrack of joy to their vivid creations. As twilight descended and the moon claimed the sky, Fedrick came upon an unusual sight: a family of sentient mushrooms. These fungi were not only aware, but vibrantly social, hosting exuberant disco parties each night under the moonlight. Their caps glowed with luminescent light, pulsating in rhythm to the natural beats of the forest. Music, a blend of rustling leaves and rhythmic sounds of falling branches, provided the beat as shadows and moonbeams danced together in harmony. Each encounter enriched Fedrick's journey, offering friendship, wisdom, and a glimpse into the magical community thriving within the hidden folds of the Quirky Woods. These experiences, woven together, form the tapestry of his adventure, each thread highlighting the unity and diversity of the forest denizens. As Fedrick journeyed deeper into the heart of the Quirky Woods, the very essence of the world around him began to unravel and reveal itself into a tapestry of surrealism that defined the mundane conflicts of logic and reason. The deeper he ventured, the more the forest seemed to acknowledge his presence by revealing its hidden mystical nature. Miraculously, trees around him, ancient and wise, suddenly sprouted delicate feathered wings. With a majestic rustle that mimicked the sound of the gentle wind, these trees broke free from their earthly tethers, taking flight into the ever-changing sky, their leaves whispering secrets of the old world and the freedom found in the new. The rivers too transformed in this enchanted realm. Water that once lazily meandered downhill became its impossible ascent, flowing uphill with a serene determination. The rivers gleamed under the sun, their surfaces reflecting the bizarre yet beautiful inversion of nature's order, carrying the lifeblood of the forest against the pull of gravity, weaving through the landscape as if it's chanting new mystical paths. Above him, the night sky was no longer a silent, static tapestry of distant lights, but a vibrant stage upon the stars performed. They danced in a kaleidoscope of colours, twirling and flickering in a dynamic pattern that painted the darkness with bursts of sapphire, emerald, and gold. This celestial ballet transformed the night into a spectacle of cosmic wonder, with each star tracing its own elaborate path in response to the whimsical energies of the Quirky Woods. Each element of this newly magical world reinforced Fedrick's resolve to continue his quest. Surrounded by those fantastical phenomena, he felt a deepening connection to the forest and its capricious spirits, urging him onwards towards his fabled goal. The golden Acorn, a legend in itself, seemed ever more attainable amid the wonders that defined exploration and surpassed all expectations of adventure. Amidst the mesmerising chaos of this surreal landscape, Fedrick's journey led him to a serene glen, a hidden enclave where the magic of the Quirky Woods seemed to concentrate. Here, the trees bore fruits unlike any that had ever been seen or imagined. A miraculous orchard where the bounty of nature intertwined with the whimsy of the forest. The apples in this glen were not merely apples, but orbs of the light that, when bitten into, released spurts of laughter. Each taste provoked a ripple of genuine heartfelt chuckles that seemed to echo through the glen, blending humorously with the rustling leaves and the chirping of the birds. Eating those apples, Fedrick felt waves of mirth wash over him, a laughter that seemed as nourishing to the spirit as the fruit was to the body. Nearby, the oranges were a vibrant spectacle of sounds. Peeling an orange released not just a spray of zest, but a melody of joyous songs, tunes so clear and envious that Fedrick found himself spontaneously dancing along. Each segment sang a different tune, creating a symphony of happiness that reverberated softly through the air. A musical gift that seemed to celebrate the sheer joy of existence. And the pineapples, peculiar yet endearing, told jokes that resonated on a frequency only the forest could truly appreciate. Those jokes embedded within the sweet tangy flesh of the pineapples were understood by the trees themselves, who shook with what one could only assume was mirth, their branches quivering and leaves fluttering, as if in a shared amusement. This magical glen, with its laughter-inducing apples and singing oranges and joking pineapples, was a vivid testament to the forest's capacity for wonder and whimsy. Fedrick, enchanted by this discovery, felt a deep sense of kingship and delight in the company of such joyful expressions of nature. As he partook of the fruits, not only did he nourish his body, but also rejuvenated his spirit, invigorating him for the continued pursuit of the legendary golden acorn. Here, in this mystical space, the boundary between the possible and the impossible blurred, and the magic of the quirky woods was felt in every bite, every note, and every laugh. But amidst the orchard of whimsical wonders, a singing spectacular spectacle captured Fedrick's undivided attention. In the very heart of the glen stood a solitary tree, distinguished and stately, its presence commanding the landscape around it, unlike its brethren which celebrated the joys of sound and laughter. This tree was adorned with something far more mystical. Its branches were laden with acorns that shimmered with the unmistakable glint of pure gold. These golden acorns hung like celestial ornaments, each one catching and reflecting the light with a brilliance that seemed to pulse with an inner life. The tree itself was tall, its bark smoother than that of other trees, and it radiated a noble aura as if it were the guardian of some ancient truth or legend. The sight of it struck a deep chord within Fedrick. The realization that his quest, once a dream, whispered on the wind, was now within reach. As he approached the tree, the air around him thickened. It beckoned with a sense of anticipation. The ground beneath his roots, though covered in the soft roots of the forest floor, it felt like sacred earth, trodden by countless seekers of wisdom before him. Each step was a reverent procession, each breath a silent hymn of awe. Reaching the base of the tree, Fedrick could see that the golden acorns were even more exquisite up close. They were perfectly formed, the surfaces smooth and flawless, emitting a warm golden glow that seemed to illuminate the glen with a soft, ethereal light. The sheer beauty of these acorns was mesmerizing, and the air hummed with the magic of their presence. This tree, set apart in its splendor, was clearly the heart of the glen's mystery. The golden acorns were not merely botanical anomalies. They were the embodiment of the ancient magic that pervaded the quirky woods. Here stood the legendary golden acorn, not just a myth, but a wondrous reality, offering both the accumulation of Fedrick's journey and the beginning of a new chapter in the tales of the forest. "This must be the legendary golden acorn," Fedrick exclaimed, his heart pulsing with waves of excitement and awe. The dream that had nourished his spirit and spurred his limbs through the uncharted depths of the quirky woods was finally within his grasp. But not just as he extended a branch to carefully pluck the acorn from its golden perch. An unexpected event halted his movements. The tree began to speak. Its voice was both majestic and intimate, thunderous enough to shake the leaves of the ground, yet gentle, like a summer breeze caressing the face. It resonated through the glen, causing the air to vibrate with the depth of its timbre. The tree intoned, its words flowing into Fedrick's mind like a stream of clear water. "Your journey has been long, and your spirit steadfast. However, the golden acorn cannot be taken lightly, nor without understanding its true essence." Fedrick, taken aback by the speaking tree and its profound proclamation, remained still as stone, his wooden heart beating a slow, resonant tempo that mirrored his deepening curiosity and burgeoning respect. "Why do you seek the golden acorn?" the tree asked, shifting the branches above as if emphasizing each word with a gesture. The golden acorns shimmering with the light that seemed to pulse in a rhythm of Fedrick's own heartbeat. Caught between his initial desire for adventure and the solemnity of the movement, Fedrick pondered his response. The quest had started as a longing for a journey, a means to break the static confines of his existence. But now, faced with the voice of the forest itself, he realised that his journey was also a pilgrimage, a quest not just for an object of legend, but for wisdom and connection. "I seek the golden acorn, not just a prize to be won, but as a key," Fedrick replied, his voice steady with the resolve. that had grown within him. A key to unlock the deeper understandings and to connect more profoundly with the world around me. The tree seemed to consider his words, the leaves rustling in a hushed whisper that sounded like approval. To head to the golden acorn is to hold the heart of the forest, the tree continued. And with it comes a responsibility to nurture and protect the balance of this magical realm. The dialogue with the majestic tree. This sentinel of the golden acorns unfolded a new layer of understanding for Fedrick. He realised that his quest was not merely about the acquisition of a mythical object, but was also a journey towards a deeper guardianship of the forest and all its wonders. The realisation filled him with a profound sense of purpose and belonging, entwining his destiny with the heart of the quirky woods. Fedrick the Wanderer, the tree intoned, his voice deep and resonant, echoing through the hollowed spaces of the glen. To claim the golden acorn, you must first prove your worth by solving the riddle of the eternal oak. A hush fell over the glen as the tree's words settled into the air. Fedrick, feeling the weight of the challenge laid before him, steadied himself. His heart, which had pulsed with exhilaration at the sight of the golden acorns, now beat with a measured blend of anticipation and resolve. The riddle, the tree continued, the leaves shimmering as if in anticipation of the test to come, is as follows. In all things I am there, hidden within sight. I touch the earth, the sea, and the light. Through I never move, I travel far, reflecting life, a constant star. What am I? Fedrick listened intently, his mind whirling through the words of the riddle, each phrase of the puzzle piece in an enigmatic mosaic. The surroundings seemed to stand still, the usual whispers of words muted under the gravity of the movement. The moon, a silent witness overhead, cast its silvery glow, churning the world around him into an luminescent tableau. He pondered the riddle, considering each element. Hidden within sight, touches earth, sea and light. Never moves but travels far, reflecting life. The words danced around him, elusive yet vivid in their implications. Then a spark of understanding flickered within his wooden heart. The answer is the moon, Fedrick finally replied. His voice resonant with confidence. It touches all, earth, sea and light. Through its gravitational pull and reflected light, it travels the sky without moving from its place in space and reflects the sunlight to us, constant, like a star. The tree seemed to pause, the air thick with anticipation, before responding, well reasoned, Fedrick the Wanderer. You have indeed solved the riddle of the eternal oak. The branches above rustled softly, and the golden acorns simmered and glimmered more brightly than before, as if acknowledging the corrections of his answer. and the worthiness of his spirit. "Because you have shown wisdom and clarity of thought," the tree declared, "you are worthy. You are deemed worthy to claim the golden acorn." With those words, a gentle breeze stirred through the glen, and one golden acorn detached itself from the branch, floating downwards in a spiral of golden light, landing softly into Fedrick's outstretched branch. The significance of this moment was profound. Not only had Fedrick acquired the legendary golden acorn, but he had also connected deeply with the ancient wisdom of the forest. The journey had transformed him, not just outwardly in his quest to the woods, but inwardly in his understanding of himself and his place within the natural world. The golden acorn, now in his possession, symbolised this profound connection and the responsibilities that would come with it. To continue protecting and understanding the mystical and natural wonders of the quirky woods. And with that, the tree vanished into the air, as if it had never been rooted there at all. In its place lingered only the faint, sweet scent of wildflowers, a delicate perfume that seemed to pepper through the air, infusing the glen with a sense of peace and mystery. The echoing laughter of unseen spirits filled the space where the tree had once stood, their sounds mingling through the rustle of the leaves and the distant calls of nocturnal creatures, a joyful celebration of the events that had unfolded. Fedrick stood alone in the centre of the glen, clutching the golden acorn. The weight of the acorn in his branch was not just physical but symbolic, filled with the history and magic of the quirky woods. He felt a profound sense of achievement, not merely for having acquired the acorn, but for the journey that had brought him to this moment. The challenges faced, the mysteries unravelled, and the wisdom gained. He looked around. The forest seemed to pulsate with a new energy. The creatures of the night, the whispering winds, and even the moon's soft glow all seemed to acknowledge his new role as a protector and partaker of the forest's deepest secrets. The invisible spirits, though unseen, imparted a sense of camaraderie and watchfulness, as if they too were guardians of the magical realm. With the golden acorn now in his possession, Fedrick knew his journey was not just yet complete. This was but a beginning, pivotal point in a larger saga, armed with newfound knowledge and a deeper connection to the land. He was ready to explore further mysteries and embrace his role within the ever-unfolding story of the quirky woods. He took a moment to savour the solitude and the serenity of the golden glen, the laughter of the spirits still playing softly in the background, a reminder of the life and magic that thrived in his enchanted forest. With a deep, connected sigh, Fedrick set his sights on the path ahead, ready for all the adventures and responsibilities that lay before him as the new guardian of the Golden Acorn. The forest awaited his next steps, whispering promises of continued wonders and the eternal dance of nature's whimsical spirit. Undeterred by the complexity of the riddle, Fedrick summoned all the wisdom he had acquired over the centuries. He paced beneath the ancient canopies of the Quirky Woods, reciting verses from Shakespeare that echoed through the trees, hoping to find inspiration in the bards themselves. Hoping to find inspiration in the bard's timeless wisdom. His movements turned into elaborate imperative dances. Each step a gesture, seeking to draw out the essence of the riddle's answer from the surrounding nature and his deep, enduring knowledge. Yet, despite his profound efforts and the myriad thoughts swirling in his wooden mind, the answer to the riddle of the eternal oak eluded him. It was like a wisp of smoke, visible for a fleeting moment, only to dissipate before he could grasp it. Each possible solution faded away, just as it seemed to take shape, leaving Fedrick more perplexed than before. The frustration of the elusive answer began to weigh on him, casting a shadow over the magical glen. However, Fedrick's resolve did not waver. He understood the path to enlightenment was often as important as the enlightenment itself, and that true wisdom came from journey, not the destination. This belief steeled him against the creeping doubt, and he continued his ponderous rituals, reciting more verses and dancing with even greater intention. As he engaged in this reflective practice, the forest around him seemed to watch in silent support. The wind whispering through the leaves, the creatures pausing in their nocturnal activities to observe. The very air of the Quirky Woods appeared to thicken with anticipation, as if the environment itself was urging him onward, eager for him to unlock the deeper truths that lay within the riddle's words. This moment of struggle, though fraught with challenge, was also filled with a profound beauty, an embodiment of the quest for knowledge that defies the essence of all seekers and wanderers. Fedrick knew that, whether or not he found the answer quickly, each step of his dance, each line of verse he recited, brought him closer to the wisdom he sought. Just as despair began to thicken its grasp around Fedrick, a sudden gentle gust of wind swept through the glen. This was no ordinary breeze. It carried with it a whisper, a soft, almost endurable murmur that seemed to echo directly into Fedrick's core. The whisper carried a secret, profound and clear, slicing through his confusion and illuminating his thoughts. The secret whispered by the wind was a simple truth, yet it held the power to transform. As it resonated within him, Fedrick felt if the very foundations of his being were being rearranged, aligning in a perfect harmony with the universe of the Quirky Woods. His eyes, which had seen centuries of sunrises and sunsets, now saw the world around him with renewed clarity. In that moment of epidemic revelation, the answer to the riddle surged through him, as obvious as the daylight that filters through the leaves. Filled with exhilaration and a triumph energy pulsing through his limbs, Fedrick raised his head and exclaimed loudly for all the forest to hear. "The answer is the moon! It is hidden in plain sight, influencing all through its gravitational pull and its reflective light. It touches the earth, the sea and the sky with its presence, though itself travels around the earth, constant, unwavering, a mirror to the sun's bays, and a glide by night." The forest seemed to pause in response, the atmosphere thick with anticipation, as the creatures in the trees awaited the reaction from the mystical forces governing this quest. Then a harmonious sound filled the air, like the chiming of celestial bells, confirming Fedrick's answer was correct. Relief washed over him, followed by a wave of pride and a newfound respect for the challenges posed by the natural world. He had unravelled the riddle of the eternal oak, proving his worthiness not only to himself, but to all the denizens of the quirky woods. The golden acorn, the mythical treasure that had sparked his quest, now seemed within reach, a symbol of the persuasiveness, insight, and unyielding spirit. As Fedrick's voice echoed through the glen with his declaration, "The sound of one clapping underwater is the laughter of a rainbow," a sense of completion filled the air. The riddle, wrapped in metaphor and mysticism, spoke to all of the interconnectedness of all things within the quirky woods, the unseen energies and the visible joys that colour the world. The phrase, though cryptic, captured the essence of nature's paradoxes and wonders. It symbolised the silent yet impactful influences that shape the world, like the invisible touch of the wind or the silent ascent of sap within a tree trunk. These forces, though often unnoticed, resonate with the vivid, joyous display of a rainbow, a natural spectacle that emerges from the combination of sunlight and rain, yet laughs in the face of the sky's sorrows. As the final word of Fedrick's examination faded into the wind, the atmosphere in the glen shifted. The mystical tree, source of the golden acorns, responded. Its branches shuddered with profound energy, and from its mist a single golden acorn began its descent, floating downward, surrounded by a halo of shimmering light. It seemed as if the forest itself was bestowing this sacred object upon Fedrick, affirming his insight and resolve. The golden acorn landed gently in Fedrick's outstretched branch, a gift of wisdom and a token of his journey's success. With the acorn now in his possession, Fedrick knew his quest was not merely about the pursuit of the legendary object, but about understanding deeper truths, about recognizing the unseen forces that play in the world and finding joy of their mysteries. Emboldened by his experiences and the knowledge he had gained, Fedrick prepared to continue his adventures in the quirky woods, carrying with him the golden acorn, a symbol of the laughter of the rainbows and the sound of one hand clapping underwater. His journey had taught him that wisdom often lies in understanding the unity of nature, the unity of nature's contrasts, and the beauty of inexplainable phenomena. As he moved forward, the forest seemed to whisper in approval, its breezes and creatures accompanying him as he explored further into the depths of its enchanted realm. And within those words, the atmosphere within the quirky woods transformed dramatically. The forest erupted in a canopy of cheers and applause, a symphony of sounds from every corner of the glen. Trees rustled their leaves vigorously, creating a whispering applause that swept like waves through the underbrush. The talking rabbits, the whispering spirits, and even the sentient mushrooms joined in, celebrating Fedrick's triumph with their own unique expressions of joy and approval. As the jubilation filled the air, Fedrick reached out and tenderly claimed the golden acorn. The acorn itself seemed to resonate with the energy of the forest, its golden glow intensifying, casting a warm, radiant light around him. As he held it, a surge of connection flowed through him, linking him not just to the tree he had fallen from, but the entire forest. It was as if all the mysteries of the quirky woods, now partly his to cherish and uphold, a sacred trust between him and the land that had tested him and found him worthy. This moment marked not just the successful conclusion of his quest, but the beginning of a new chapter in his existence. With the golden acorn in his possession, Fedrick was no longer just a wanderer or an executive spirit roaming the woods. He had become a guardian of the forest's magic and mysteries, a role bestowed upon him through the challenges he had overcome and the wisdom he had demonstrated. The creatures of the forest, from the smallest insect to the tallest tree, acknowledged Fedrick's new role. Their noises of celebration acknowledging his transformation and their acceptance of him as a protector of the magical realm. The forest seemed to breathe a collective sigh of relief and joy, its energy settling as peace descended once more over the glen. Fedrick, with the golden acorn close to his heart, knew that his journey through life had taken a profound turn. He was eager to explore the responsibilities this new role entailed, ready to defend the woods and learn from its endless mysteries. The cheers of the forest inhabitants followed him as he began to walk back through the woods. The golden acorn, a beacon of his new bond with the magical world around him. His heart was light, his spirit enriched, and his path clear, as he stepped forward into his future, accompanied by the laughter and blessings of the quirky woods. But as Fedrick held the shimmering treasure aloof, basking in the glow of his hard-won victory and the analogies of the forest creatures, a strange sensation began to wash over him. It was a creeping feeling, anticipated and profound, akin to the gentle pull of the slumber. The forest's cheers seemed to soften to a distant murmur, and the bright light of the golden acorn in his hand began a soothing, mellow glow. This sensation was not one of exhaustion, nor of weakness, but rather it felt like the natural, serene descent into a dream. It was as if the golden acorn itself was ushering him into a state of heightened awareness, where the boundaries between the waking world and the realm of the dreams blurred into insignificance. As the feeling intensified, Fedrick realised that this was no ordinary dream creeping upon him, but a magical, mystical slumber that promised deeper understanding and connection to the quirky woods. The golden acorn, pulsating with a warm light, seemed to be guiding him into this dreamlike state, a realm where the secrets of the forest could be revealed in ways that waking consciousness could never comprehend. Around him, the forest adapted to the shift. The trees leaned closer, their branches forming a protective canopy over him. The wind carried whispers of encouragement, and the ground beneath him softened, cushioning his descent as he slowly allowed himself to succumb to the enchantment of the acorn spell. Fedrick's last conscious thought was a reflection on the journey that had brought him here, from the first whisper of desire for adventure to the solving of the eternal oak's riddle. As his eyes closed and the magical sleep took hold, he felt a profound peace, trusting in the forest's embrace and the journey still to come in the dreamscape promised by the golden acorn. What lay ahead was unknown, but Fedrick was assured that it was a path of growth, insight, and further enchantment. The quirky woods held him now, not merely as a wanderer, but as a guardian, a dreamer, and a seeker on the endless quest for wisdom beneath the canopy of an enchanted realm. And so, as Fedrick the Magnificent held the golden acorn aloof, the world around him began to dissolve into a mesmerising kaleidoscope of colours and shapes. The vibrant hues of the forest melted together, painting the air with swirling patterns that beckoned him deeper into a slumber. The sounds of the forest, the cheers and songs, faded into a harmonious lullaby that seemed to composed by the woods themselves to guide him into this enchanted rest. As he drifted off, the boundaries between reality and fantasy blurred, and Fedrick found himself slipping into a realm of dreams that was as whimsical and vibrant as the quirky woods themselves. In his dreams, he embarked on a nautical adventure that defied the mundane laws of the waking world. He flew alongside the winged trees he had seen earlier, racing the birds to the highest peaks of the forest. He danced at the disco parties of the sentiment mushrooms, their jokes now as clear as day and twice as funny. He recited poetry with the talking rabbits, their verses now weaving magical spells that brought forth visions of the distant lands and times. Each dream was a tapestry of absurdities and marvels, reflecting the deepest magics of the quirky woods, a place where logic bowed before the altar of wonder, and where every leaf and stone was imbued with potential for mystery and delight. These adventures, though nonsensical, were filled with a profound sense of discovery and joy. They were expressions of the forest's essence, shed through the dream veil, in a language that only the heart could fully understand and revel in. Fedrick, sleeping from, lay cradled by the forest floor, the golden acorn still clutched gently in his branch around him. The protective canopy from the trees, by the trees, shielded him from the elements, and the creatures of the woods kept respectfully vigil. They watched over him, not just as the guardian of the realm, but as a fellow adventurer who traversed the landscapes of the dream and the reality alike. In this dream-filled slumber, Fedrick the Magnificent was more than just a wanderer or a guardian. He was a bridge between the seen and the unseen, a partaker in the dance of the whimsical and the real, and a beloved character in the ongoing story of the quirky woods. As he slept, the forest waited, its breath a soft whisper, eager for new tales that would sprout from his magical interlude. Tales that would someday be whispered among the leaves as legends of Fedrick's fantastical journey. And as Fedrick the Magnificent slept, cradled in the nurturing embrace of the quirky woods, the forest itself took up the role of storyteller. The forest itself took up the role of storyteller, and as Fedrick the Magnificent slept, cradled in the nurturing embrace of the quirky woods, the forest itself took up the role of storyteller and guardian. The trees whispered lullabies, their voices soft and melodious, weaving tales of love and laughter that fluttered through the leaves like delicate butterflies. These lullabies carried Fedrick deeper into a realm where reality and imagination dance in a perfect harmony. A world as fluid and as vivid as a painter's palette, blending new hues into existence. In this dreamscape, the very essence of possibility was unbound, and dreams mingled with reality in a beautiful symbiotic weave. The branches of the mighty oaks in his dreams entwined symbolically with the fabric of his thoughts, each leaf and twig pulsating with the life force of his aspirations and fantasies. The wings sang adventures yet to come, yet carrying scents and sounds that mapped a landscape both wildly fantastical and intimately familiar. Here, Fedrick encountered mythical creatures that spoke in riddles and rhymes, each encounter teaching him a new lesson about the magic of life and the interconnectivity of all things. Rivers that flowed uphill invited him to swim against their currents, challenging him to see the world from perspectives anew. Stars that whispered ancient secrets blinkered rhythmically in the night sky, guiding him through nocturnal explorations where the ground shimmered with the luminous of dreams made visible. The harmony in this entwined world was palpable. Just as in a dance, every element moved in sync, with steps that mirrored and complemented each other, crafting a tapestry of experiences that was both exhilarating and enlightening. Fedrick's spirit roamed freely, untethered by earthly constraints, exploring the boundless soundscapes where the whimsical and the real coexisted and flourished. As the dawn approached in the waking world, the dreamscape gently began to fade, its vivid colours dimming to the soft light of morning. The forest's lullabies dwindled to a tender hum, the melodies lingering in the air like the sweet scent of night blooming flowers. Fedrick stirred slightly, the echoes of his nocturnal adventures settling into the corners of his mind, like cherished memories waiting to be rediscovered upon waking. The quirky woods watched over him, its inhabitants quietly resuming their daily rhythms. Fedrick, the Magnificent, now a profound part of the majestical tapestry, lay at the heart of the forest, his journey through the dream world enriching his connection to the land that had nurtured his spirit and expanded his horizons. As the line between his dreams and reality blurred, so too did the boundaries of his soul grow wider, encompassing both the seen and the unseen, forever changed by the dance of imagination that wove through his slumber beneath the branches of the mighty oaks. And so, dear listener, if ever you find yourself wandering through the quirky woods on a moonlit night, listen closely. Tune your ears to the subtle whispers of the wind and the rustle of the leaves underfoot. You might just hear the laughter of a rainbow echoing through the trees, a vibrant melodic reminder that the world around us is full of wonders that defy all logic and reason. These sounds, carried on the breeze, are not just remnants of Fedrick and the Magnificent's fantastical journey. They are invitations to open your heart to the magic that permeates this enchanted forest. Each note of laughter, each whisper from the trees weaves a story of a world where the improbable becomes possible, where seamless harmony and where every wandering soul can find adventure. Remember, as you stroll beneath the ancient boroughs lit by silvery glow of the moon, that you are walking through a realm where wonders await every turn. The quirky woods are alive, with mysteries that are eager to reveal themselves to those who dare to explore with an open mind and a joyful heart. So, carry with you the spirit of Fedrick, his curiosity, his bravery, and his appreciation for the whimsical. Let the forest awaken the wanderlust within you and lead you into stories that you will carry home and cherish. And above all, allow yourself to believe in the extraordinary, for sometimes the most magical adventures are indeed the ones that defy all logic and reason. Adventures that remind us of how beautiful it can be to simply dream and explore. Welcome to the quirky woods, where every path leads to mystery, and every mystery is a path to your own enchanted story. Good night.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Also, if you're interested in exploring other topics, make sure to check out my other 2 channels which are linked below. I appreciate your support and I'll see you in the next video.